Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Michaela, and today I'm going to tell you about my experience of being an extra on Outer Banks Season 3. This vlog is kind of chaotic and kind of confusing, so I'm going to be here to tell you what's happening in the vlog while we are watching it. First part of the story I want to get into is how I actually booked this job and the story on how I got it, because I just kind of picked my phone up and started filming the minute I was on set, so I didn't explain anything. Basically, we were going to Charleston for a vacation, and I love Outer Banks so much, and I know they film there. I've been to all the filming locations before, so I was just like, how can I get on this show? And let me tell you, I manifested this because throughout the whole year, I was telling people I was going to be on Outer Banks. Like, I didn't know how I was going to be on Outer Banks, but I was like, I'm going to be on Outer Banks. Like, you guys watch me. Like, I don't know why I just feel this feeling that I'm going to be on Outer Banks, but I will be on Outer Banks. I just don't know how. But I did it. I got on Outer Banks. We were driving to Charleston, and I found the extras casting director in the car on the way to Charleston. So I saw that there was a casting call listed for a booking in like 2 days. So I applied, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this would be so cool if I get this, but you know, I'm probably not gonna get it. Like, it's still last minute. So I applied. The next morning at 7 a.m., I got the email that I got the job, and I was screaming. My mom woke me up and she was like, is this person the casting director? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, you got the job. I was like, what? So I started screaming around the hotel room at literally 7 a.m. I'd never been up so early in my life before, but it was amazing. So I applied while we were driving. We were in a hotel, and I booked the job that morning, and then we had to drive the rest of the way to Charleston. So they were like, you have to get a COVID test at 12 o'clock, be at this location at 12 o'clock to get your COVID test. And we were like, okay, we better get on the road. Like, let's go get our COVID test. We go to the COVID test location, and this is where the vlog picks up, but basically it's like their headquarters, I think. And the Twinkie was there, and I saw like all the directors like parking spots were there, so I got a picture of Jonas Pate's parking spot. I think I show that in the vlog, so I'll let you guys watch this part. Okay guys, we just did our COVID test, and that right there is Jonas Pate's parking spot, who's the director. Crazy. So yeah, we just did our COVID test, and now we're good to go. We are gonna go look at the Twinkie now. There's two of them. Did you know there was two Twinkies? Probably because they broke the first Twinkie.
Oh yeah, they abused the Twinkie.
Do you see it? They're probably like watching us on the cameras, being like, what the heck?
Sure they're watching us on camera.
Yeah, they're right there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, look at them. Oh my gosh.
Oh, there are
That's them.
They've abused the Twinkie.
Look at them. They're right there. That is so cool. After we got our COVID test, we went and did our regular day in Charleston. You can actually watch that vlog if you want. I have the whole vacation filmed on my YouTube channel except for this day, which is what you guys are gonna see now. We needed to get a Pogue outfit because I have a very kook preppy style, but I didn't have any Pogue outfits with me. So we went to Target, we got our outfits, and then we headed on with the rest of our day. Okay guys, we are at Target to get my Pogue outfits. So we have a few options, so I'll show you them when we get back to the hotel. We have to run to Walmart. It's 10:35. They just told us our costumes. I'm bringing costumes for kook and Pogue. Thankfully, I dress like a kook every day, so I have kook costumes. But then we need a backpack. We need a backpack. They told us at 10:35 we need a backpack. We don't have a backpack. We're not at home. If we were at home, we would have had a backpack. So we gotta go get a backpack. Make sure to get a backpack. Okay guys, we made it in the car. We are speeding to Walmart. We're 7 minutes away. It's currently 10:43. We'll get there at 10:50. That means we have 10 minutes to get a backpack and get out of there. We got this. We got this. Do it for Outer Banks. We did it, guys. Backpack and jeans secured. That was stressful, but we did it.
We did it.
Yes. So now call time.
Mom of the Year award.
Mom of the Year award, literally. So now call time is 8:30. So gotta go home, take a shower, braid my hair so I can have those beach waves tomorrow, and we're good to go. It's currently 7:08. The next morning, we are all ready. Call time is 8:30. So I have my Pogue outfit on. I have my school backpack and my duffel bag with all my changes of clothes, and we are ready for the day, and we are gonna have so much fun. I'm so excited. Now it's the next morning, and we're heading to set. I am so excited, guys. I was so nervous. I've never seen myself so nervous in these clips because I didn't know who was gonna be there. I didn't know what we were filming. I didn't know what was gonna happen. What I was thinking was the whole cast was gonna be there, and I was not prepared for that. I was like, I'm gonna have to calm myself down because I cannot start fangirling in the middle of the set. Like, that's so unprofessional. I cannot do this. Even though I like literally love them so much and I'm like their biggest fans, I need to calm down. And my mom was like kind of like yelling at me off camera, and she's like, Michaela, you actually need to calm down. Like, I'm not walking you in there until you are calm, because there's no way you're gonna walk in there like this. You're gonna get kicked out. Like, if you keep screaming and stuff, you're gonna get kicked out. I just realized this is gonna be my first day of high school. How sweet. Because I did high school online the whole time. So this is my first time going to school, okay?
Public high school.
Oh, I don't know if I told you, we're filming at a school, so I'm in the high school scenes.
It's your first day in public high school. You went to high school.
Yeah, I went to high school, I just did it online, so it's my first day in public high school in person. And we're at Chick-fil-A right now, getting breakfast. Okay guys, we are 4 minutes away from the set. I'm getting really nervous, I'm like shaking. I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up, but I think it's just because it's early in the morning and I don't wake up this early. Oh, I'm like really scared, but I'm so excited. This is literally my favorite show ever. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Guys, we made it. Oh my gosh. I'm literally shaking. Oh my gosh. Okay guys, we are about to go in. I need to have some deep breaths.
Gosh, I'm glad
So we walked in and there's probably like 10 or 15 extras that we were with, and the first place they brought us was this gym, and it was so crusty that we had to leave. So then they brought us to this cafeteria, and that was our holding area for a little bit, probably like an hour. We were waiting in there, and maybe like 2 hours, like an hour, 2 hours, we were in that room, and we were getting our hair and makeup done. They were like covering any tattoos, and they were doing wardrobe and COVID tests. Okay guys, we're going to a new location because the gym was really crusty. Yeah.
I had it upside down.
Yeah, we were like,
we
have to do a COVID test. Okay.
So fun. The things I do for you.
Okay guys, so for the first scene, I'm gonna wear this shirt, and for the second scene, I'm gonna wear this yellow shirt. Yay! Okay guys, basically what is happening, we're like going to the bathroom right now in a little trailer, but we're waiting in this like cafeteria, I think it's a cafeteria, and we're waiting to be called to set. And I got my wardrobe, and they did my hair. They only like put gel on it. But yeah, now we are just waiting for them to call us to set. And we're filming 2 scenes today for 2 different episodes, so I'm very excited. Here's Momager. Momager's the only
momager here.
the only momager here, because everyone else is like,
Everyone else is a teacher.
yeah, everyone, yeah, all the other adults are teachers, but everyone else is like over 18, so they don't need a guardian. But yeah, very
They
excited.
booked you for this
I know.
because you're not 18.
I know, I was like, I'm shocked that they booked me.
The momager baggage with you.
Yeah, literally. Okay, I'll see you guys later. We did that in that room, and then they sent us to another room, which was a classroom. Okay guys, I just filmed a scene. It was so cool. Jonathan Davis, who plays Pope, I walked right next to him. I was internally screaming. But yeah, it's super cool. So I walked right next to him, and then he came up behind me and walked behind me and then turned, and I was like, ah! So cool. Now we're going back inside and probably filming. I'm going to go to the history class. So wish me luck in history. We're in this room for probably another hour, hour and a half, and they're like calling people, like calling extras in and out to go do scenes or not, and they like still hadn't picked me. So then they finally picked me, and we like went to go do the scene, and it was basically Pope was walking into the principal's office. If this whole scene makes it into the show, I'll obviously put it into this YouTube video, but basically Pope was going to the principal's office. So I got to film with Jonathan Davis, which was amazing. But so Pope was going into the principal's office, and the extras were just kind of had to like walk around the hallway. So they would like direction us to go like right or left or straight, or like basically we just had 3 hallways that we would switch between walking forward while they just like keep redoing the set, like redoing the takes. So he would go into the principal's office, he would do his thing in the principal's office, and then he would storm out of the principal's office. So we were just like walking around. And this one part, I was standing right here, and then Jonathan Davis came from the principal's office. It was like a retake. So he came from the principal's office and he stood next to me. And I was like, Jonathan Davis is sitting next to me right now. I don't know what I was doing. I had made a friend on set, so I like looked back at her and we were both like Jonathan Davis is literally standing next to us right now. Like I was having to do some deep breathing because I like didn't want to like show like, and like he was like in his character, you know, because Pope had just been in the principal's office, so he had to stay in character, so he was like upset about going to the principal's office, and I was just like, but I kept it cool, you know, I was in character in the hallways of our school, so I kept it cool, and I did my little walk, and it was great. But so one of the walks, so he was standing right next to me, and then the guy tells me to walk, so I walk, and then the guy tells Jonathan Davis to walk behind me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Jonathan Davis is walking behind me. So he's walking behind me, and we're going like this. Like, I swear, I hope this makes it in. And I go into my classroom, and then he like goes in the principal's office, but he like swings the principal's office door like open, and it would like scared me because I didn't know he was gonna be that aggressive opening the door. So I was like, I had a little mini heart attack that this door flung open right next to me, but I kept it cool, and I just walked in my classroom. And then like once I got in the classroom, I was like, no way Jonathan Davis almost hit me with the door. Like, what? So we do that scene, and then we get back into the classroom. We got snacks! Yay. We got Sour Patch. Yeah. Then we break for lunch, and the lunch was so good, you guys. Like, Crafty Services on Outer Banks was the best Crafty Services I've ever had. It was so good. Okay, I've only had 2, but like, it was so good. Okay guys, we are breaking for lunch now. I'll update you of what we get. During lunch, everyone was in the lunch, like, except Jonathan. He was like probably eating in his trailer. But like everyone had broke for lunch at the same time. So all the directors, all the crew were in there. So I actually sat across from Jonas Pate, who is the director of the show. So I was sitting here, and like 2 lunch tables in front of me was Jonas Pate. So we were like face to face, but like far away. But like, he was right in front of me. So I was like, oh my gosh, Jonas Pate is like sitting in front of me. Like, he should scout me to be a new Pogue, right? He didn't. I didn't go talk to him because I don't know, it's kind of like unprofessional, I guess. I don't know. He probably would have been very nice though. They were all very nice. But so I ate lunch, and then they call us back into the room, and then we sit there for like probably 2 or 3 hours, and they keep calling these kids in to do these scenes, and they're like not picking me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, am I not gonna like do anything else? So I was like, well, I guess I only like got to do the hallway scene, which is still cool, but you know, we've been here for like 8 hours, like I kind of want to do another scene. So they pulled me in, and they were like, you're gonna do this history class scene, and I was like, great. So they pulled me in the hallway and like lined up all the kids who were going in the history scene, and then they were like, you know what, there's too many girls. So they took me out of the history scene. So I had to go back in and sit back in for like another 2 hours. So I was like pretty sad about that. So they were filming their history scene with Jonathan Davis, and I was like sitting back. So then I get called for a geometry class though. So booyah, I'm back in the game. I'm a Pogue again, like, let's go geometry. I love geometry. I hate geometry. I literally have PTSD from geometry. It's awful. But I was happy to do geometry for Outer Banks.
Lock it up, we're going again. Rolling. Second team.
I have like 6 extras go into this geometry class, and they sit me next to Jonathan Davis. So like, okay, so there's a desk here, there's a desk here, and there's a desk here. Jonathan was sitting at this desk, and I was sitting at this desk. So there's an empty desk in between us. So it's just us two like in the back and then all the other extras like in front of us. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting next to Jonathan Davis. Like, look at me go. Like, you know, me and JD were like bestie vibes. So we do the scene. The teacher's talking. Pope didn't have any lines during my scenes. I know he had lines in the history class or like other classes throughout the day that they filmed. He had lines, but in my like class he didn't have lines. So he was just like sitting there miserable and he was like drawing something. I don't know what he was drawing, I couldn't tell, but he was drawing something and they were like filming him drawing and they were like taking pictures of his drawing. So I don't know what he was drawing, but it seemed pretty important. And then the geometry teacher is just like teaching a lesson. I explained this whole conversation after, but I was like wound up, you guys. I was like here's me now. This was me right after I filmed. I was insane. So I don't know if it makes a lot of sense of the story time I told you guys, but I'm gonna kind of like recap it here. I go in with all the other extras and I start taking notes of like what's on the board because I'm in geometry class, you know, you gotta play the part. So I pick up this like purple pen. There's an orange pen and a purple pen. Then there's like a book and paper. So I pick up the purple pen and I just start writing down what's on the board. So I was like taking notes during the class. And then like one of the crew guys was like, oh my gosh, you're taking notes? I was like, yeah, is that okay? And he's like, yeah, I love that. Like, go ahead, I love this. And I guess like none of the other extras were like actually taking notes or something. Like he'd never seen that before. So, you know, but I was like, I'm an actress, so I was playing my part. Like I had my character name written on the like little paper. I was fully in. I named my Pogue character Kenzie. She had a whole backstory. Like she's a Pogue, like she has a rough life, but she wants to do good in school. Like, girl. We do the scene like 3 times with all the extras, and then they have all of us go out and Pope and the teacher film the scene, just the 2 of them, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna bring 2 guys in. So they bring the 2 guys in, and then they don't like how the setting is looking, so they bring them out, and they're like, actually, we only need the girl with the yellow shirt who was sitting next to Pope. I was like, oh, that's me, I'm the yellow shirt girl. So I walk in, that's me. The yellow shirt girl, just yellow shirt girl back in. I'm like, I'm yellow shirt girl. I will take that name. You know, I'm not Michaela Andrews anymore. I'm yellow shirt girl today. So I come in the classroom and the same crew guy that was talking to me about my notes before was sitting in my desk. So I was like, you know, we were kind of buddy at that point. You know, we had talked before. So I was like, you're in my seat. And he was like, sorry, I was just admiring your notes. And I was like, oh, thanks. He was like, they're really good notes. Like, you wrote down exactly what the board said. I'm like, yeah, but I gotta play my part, you know? And he was like, I respect. So I sit back down in my chair, and Jonathan Davis was like kind of laughing at that, you know? Because like we were the only ones in the room. It was me, him, and then a bunch of crew. So obviously he was focusing on the conversation like closest to him. So he was like laughing at that. He thought that was funny. So I sit back down. And the camera guy is right here. So here's my desk. The camera is like leaning on my desk. Like I think it was touching my desk. So I was like, hello. I didn't do that. But the camera is right here. And the camera guy just tells me, just sit how you were sitting before. So I was like, okay. So then I hold my pen and I like put my pen on my paper because that's what I was doing. And he's like, oh my gosh, are you gonna take notes during the class? I was like, yeah, if you want me to, I can. And he's like, yes, please, this is amazing. And I was like, what is happening? Like, I'm literally just taking notes of the class. He like sat there for another few seconds and he was like, hold on, I gotta show you this. So he flips the camera screen around. Like, you know how it's like a big camera and then they have the screen. So he flips that around so he can show me. So then obviously Jonathan is like looking. So he's like, I'm just gonna call him JD. JD was looking at me and this like whole thing that was happening. So he flips the camera around. My purple pen was creating like this aura like glow on Jonathan's face. He looked beautiful. Like the sun was hitting it just right and my purple pen was hitting his face just right that he looked like a little purple angel. So like he was like glowing over there because of my pen work. So JD then looks at me and starts talking to me. I'm like, he's talking to me. I'm gonna quote the entire conversation. He goes, wow, that's really cool. And the crew guy's like, I know, right? And I was like, yeah, that is cool. So JD goes, wow, your pen work is amazing. And I say, oh, thanks, I'm just making you look good. And he goes, "You're not only making me look good, you're making the whole show look good." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, it's an honor." And he's like, "You're welcome." And then they like called rolling. I was like, Jonathan Davis just talked to me. I had a whole conversation with Jonathan Davis. Like, excuse me? Dream day, best day ever. So I was freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? What is my life? Like, he just talks to me and he started the conversation. I didn't even start the conversation. It was amazing. So that is my little story time on how I talked to Jonathan Davis on set of Outer Banks. It was literally the best experience of my life. I'm still like so excited. And I really hope that it makes it into the show. I don't know if my face will, but I'm sure my purple pen will. Like, my purple pen's gotta make it in the show. So yeah, that's my little story time, and now let's go back to the actual video, and I explain it to my dad and my mom like on the phone, but it's just, I was just really excited, so you like can get the more excited version, and it's probably a little confusing, but this was like the gist of it all. So yeah. Okay. I have to collect myself. Jonathan Davis talks to me. Who's Pope?
Pope talked to you.
Yes. And he started the conversation.
They were the only two in the scene.
We're the only two.
Like that's going to be in the show, or?
Well,
who
Who
knows?
knows what they do?
Who knows what's going to be in the show? But I was in the room. No extras. Just me and Jonathan and the crew. And he talked to me.
Oh
Okay, here's what he said. Okay, so basically, I had this purple pen. Good thing I picked the purple pen and not the orange pen, because I sat down in my, okay, so I had this purple pen and we were doing the scene. It was geometry. I know nothing about geometry. I was absolutely clueless, but I was just writing things down, because when I came in the very first time, one of the crew people told me just to start writing down what's on the board, so I was writing it down, and then I was actually writing it down. So then another crew guy came over and he was like, "Wow, you're actually writing this stuff down?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's what they told me to do."
I'm following directions.
I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't understand, but yeah, I'm writing it down." And he's like, "Wow, okay, look at you go." And I was like, "Yeah." And then they were like, "Okay, quiet on set." So then we started rolling. So then we do that scene 3 times, and then they had the extras leave, and then they just had Pope and the teacher do the scene. So then the extras came back in, but they wanted 2 guys. So because there was too many girls in the scene, so then they brought 2 guys. But then they were like, "Actually, no, screw the 2 guys. The yellow shirt girl, the girl in the back, who's in the back." I was like, "That's me." So that's me. Yellow shirt girl in the back.
I'm yellow shirt and purple pen girl.
That is me right here. Okay, so I go in, and then it's just me and Pope. It's just me and Pope. I'm internally screaming like, "Oh my gosh, what is happening? Can I talk to him?"
Is this my life?
This is my life. I am in a room with Jonathan Davis, no other extras, just me, Jonathan Davis, and a bunch of crew. I was freaking out. So he was like talking to the crew, and they were like talking around, and they were like cracking jokes. And another crew guy was sitting in my seat looking at my notes, the same one who was like complimenting my notes before. He was looking at my notes. So then they were like, "Oh, go back to your seat." I was like, "Oh, there's someone in this seat." And then he was like, "Oh, you have to leave, she's back." And he's like, "Oh." And then I was like, "You're still in my seat." And he was like, "Sorry, I was just really into these notes." So then I sit in the seat, and then JD, I'm calling him by his nickname already. We're just best friends. And so then Jonathan starts laughing at that, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So then I'm sitting there, and everyone's like talking and everything. So then the camera guy is literally right next to me, like right here. The window, I'm sitting in the car, the window is the camera guy, like right here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the camera. Like, it's my time to shine.
I love a camera.
I love a camera. I'm like, hey, I'm like, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Michaela and Jonathan, and today we're shooting Outer Banks. No, I did not do that. But they probably would have liked that because me and the camera guy were buddy. He was like, so how were you sitting before? So I showed him how I was sitting. I was just sitting like this, like normally. He was like, okay, that's cool. So then he starts, I just like sit there and like, and waiting for them to start. And then he's like, wait, that's really cool. He's like, are you gonna write your notes again? And I was like, yeah, I can. And he's like, perfect. He's like, just don't move the pen down because look I'm going to show you what this is doing. So he turns the screen over to me so that I can see.
Right.
And then, yeah. So then he's like right here too. Oh, and I didn't tell you where Jonathan was. So I was here. There was an empty desk here, and then there was Pope and Jonathan at the desk next to it. So I'm the closest person to him, like out of all the extras, because they were over other places.
And then you took notes in geometry.
No, literally. What? Okay, so the guy turns the screen around and shows me, this is what your purple pen is doing. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And it was creating this like purple orb on Jonathan's face. And then Jonathan goes, oh my gosh, that's really cool. And we were like, yeah, that's so cool. That's like really good. And then he goes
Your
like
special effects.
no, literally, you can't see me, but my pen you can see. So then he goes, wow, that looks really good. So then at that point he was looking at me that my pen looked really good, and he was like, good job with your pen work. I was like, thanks, I'm just making you look good. And he was like, you're not only making me look good, you're making the whole show look good. I was like, oh, wow, thank you. That is an honor. That is an honor. He was like, of course. And then they were like rolling, and I was like, ah!
Oh my god, my ears.
I know. Well, as I told, turn your hearing aid down. It's gonna be very loud. And it got pinched.
So that was my interaction with him. A whole little mini conversation.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is pretty neat.
We were afraid she wasn't going to get picked because it was the last scene.
Save the best for last.
Yeah, they did the very last scene she got to be in. Other than that, she only got to walk the halls.
Yeah, so then after he comes over and thanks me, he's like, thank you so much for being here. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And he was like, of course. But then the one extra was like, can I have a hug? And he was like, yes, of course. So he gave her a hug. And then the other girl was like, can I have a hug too? Then he gave her a hug too. And then I was,
Did you get a hug?
No, I didn't. Because I was behind him, and it was like so loud I didn't know if he would hear me. So, and then he started walking away after he gave the two girls a hug. So I was like, I want a hug. You want to give Purple Pen Girl a hug? They were calling me Purple Pen Girl. Like, it's my new
It might
name.
be in the credits. Purple Pen
Yeah,
Girl.
Purple Pen Girl, played by Michaela
Yellow
Andrews.
shirt, purple pen girl.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yellow shirt, purple pen.
I'm pretty sure my purple pen will definitely be in there because the whole crew was like dying over my purple pen
Was the director
action.
excited about it?
He wasn't there.
Oh, yeah, I hope he's excited.
Yeah, I gotta
about the
hope he's
purple
excited
pen.
about it. Wow. What a
you
day.
didn't
I love how you almost bumped into him in the walking scene.
Okay, so yeah.
The
So,
walking scene was pretty cool too, but it did not compare to this.
yeah, it did not compare to a conversation.
Sure.
Because he was more happy in geometry. I think in the beginning he was just like in character, you know, because he was going to the principal's office.
He was in trouble.
He was in trouble, so he wasn't talking to anyone. But then in geometry class, he was like, "This is boring. This is bringing me back to high school." And he was like,
Me too, brother.
"Yeah, I was like, me too."
My least favorite class.
If he would have said that after our conversation, I would have said that. But he said that before, so I didn't know like if I should say that. So then before in the hallway scene, they just had us like walking around. So then they like I walked this way. You can't see my hands, but I'm showing the vlog. I walked this way, and then he walked then they called like cut and like reset. So then he had to come right next to me. I stood next to him for 30 seconds. Literally. I was screaming on the inside. I was like, but he was like standing right next to me. So I was like, oh my gosh. I was like trying not to smile because who smiles walking down the school hallways? So I was like trying not to smile. So then the guy who tells us where to go, he was like, he said, okay, you go. He told after the 30 seconds of us just standing next to each other, he told me to go and walk in front of the like camera thing. So I walked, and then he told Jonathan immediately after me to walk. So then I hear Jonathan behind me. I'm like, oh my gosh, keep it cool. I cannot smile. There's cameras on me because Pope is right behind me. Like I cannot do anything. So then I walk into my classroom, and then he like swings the principal door open, and it kind of scared me, but luckily I didn't like react. But I was like, oh my gosh. He was right behind me. And then he went into the room, and I was right there.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
So that was 2 episodes?
Yeah.
You think your face is gonna be in the episodes?
I hope so.
Chin down, purple pen.
Purple pen hopefully will make it. Okay guys, that was literally the coolest experience of my life. Wow. That last scene I'm still freaking out about. You heard the whole story, but like, oh my gosh, he talked to me! Purple pen girl! We're literally like besties now. Okay, but anyways, that was such an amazing experience. And I forgot to update you like about the lunch. The lunch was literally so good.
It was phenomenal.
It was like, that was the best meal I've had in Charleston so far. Like, I'm gonna go to Crafty every day and just like please like give me some of that food. It was so good. So we are heading back home now. We did like the whole rap party, like rap, like clapping and yay, like go us at the end, because I was in the very last scene with my purple pen. Sorry if this vlog was a bit chaotic, and like I'm gonna be inserting pictures and like random videos, and I probably wasn't like talking a lot because I was just like it was like hard to film there because I couldn't like film a lot and I didn't want to get in trouble. So I hope you enjoyed. That was my experience working as an extra on season 3 of Outer Banks. I'm so excited for this third season to come out, and I hope I'm in it. But if I'm not, that's okay, because at least I have the experience, and I had a conversation with Jonathan Davis. I mean, who has a conversation with Jonathan Davis? Like, who? Me. Purple pen girl. Booyah!
Yellow shirt, purple pen.
Yellow shirt, purple pen girl. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe to my channel, and turn on those post notifications so you get notified every single time I post a brand new video. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Michaela._Andrews. Bye!